What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys have seen the last video, we removed the broken axles off the all-wheel drive CRX rear axles, and we sent them out yesterday to get the warranty exchange ones. And we also finished up the exhaust system for the FlipRX CRX. Now, like I've mentioned plenty of times before, this car needs two more things before it is ready to go. One, we need to get the alignment done, and two, get it on the dyno. Not sure when I'm taking this car to the alignment rack, because honestly I don't want to run a trailer just to take it down to my alignment guy. I kind of want to drive it, but I do not like driving cars hot meaning it is not a registered car. Although it is registered, it just expired, and you know, for me, the peace of my mind, I don't like driving expired cars. So alignment and tune, this car is gonna be ready to go. But today I don't think we're working on this car, that, or those. Obviously they're just put away. But I kind of showed a little clip at the end of the last video showing you guys that we got a package that I've been waiting for. I'm gonna warn you guys, I'm gonna be talking a little bit right now, and we're gonna get into some work here in a little bit. But if you guys are just barely coming onto the channel or don't remember, this is another CRX that I've worked on earlier this year, and this car is actually a car I am giving away to one of you lucky winners for helping me reach 100,000 subscribers last year. Now, this build is taking a little while because of the order operation I'm trying to do it in, also parts and stuff like that. So give you guys a brief little rundown. This was given to me from John. He's a local firefighter, and I found that this was a perfect opportunity to do a giveaway with. So I do have a playlist of this car from the first day I got it and everything I've done to this car up until this point, but the car kind of been sitting here for a few months now because of parts and, like I said, the order operation that I'm trying to do stuff in. So we got the engine started. If you guys don't remember, again, this car came with a B16, but we opt for something different. This is an H2B H23 all-wheel drive. So we did get this car to turn on. It fired over. We idled it a little bit, but we didn't have any cooling system, and the last thing we did to the car was add the CSF radiator with the fan setup. And I'm just missing the fill neck right here to finish up the cooling system and then button that all up. So since then, the car has just kind of been parked here. You guys can see all the dust and everything, and you know, we've just been waiting for parts, or actually not waiting for parts. The plans that I had for this car was to boost it, and we had a turbo manifold that did not fit, but thanks to one of you guys, you guys bought the current manifold setup that was for this car, and that allowed me to get a different setup in hopes of fitting with the alternator relocation kit. So big shout out to 1320. We finally got a manifold for the car. It took a little while to get here, but it's here nonetheless. So we're gonna be boosting this car, and that is the order operation I'm trying to do this in. The goal was to get the engine running and then tear everything apart to do the turbo setup, and then obviously get the car back on the ground, and then we'll start on the rear end of the car, which is the all-wheel drive conversion. But before we get to that, I want to make sure everything is good and dandy up front. I'm gonna go ahead and just open this box up with you guys, and I'm not sure what today's task is going to consist of, but we'll figure it out along the way. So you guys already know, like opening my box upside down. And I want to give a big shout out to Jeff over at 1320 Performance. He's actually local, like not local here where I'm at, but he's only 2 hours away. And this package, literally once it was updated on the shipping, it took literally 1 day to show up, and we have it now. So the last turbo manifold, we had issues with the alternator relocator right here, and we couldn't move the alternator up because of the headlight bracket, and I don't want to cut you know, sorry, the buckets. I don't want to cut the buckets up, and I just ended up selling it and got another one. So big shout out to Jeff for giving me a great sponsored deal on this manifold. Let's open it up. 1320 Performance, guys, check out the website. I'll link it in the description below. And this, guys, is our new turbo manifold. 1320 Performance top mount, T3 flange with a V44 for the wastegate. I can't wait to get this thing fitted up. I don't know if I've shown you guys the turbo, but we're going to be running one of our, I guess, favorite eBay turbo, the GTX 3582R. Please don't mind it mounted on my K series, but this turbo is for the giveaway car. So I'm probably gonna unbolt this real quick, take this off, and get it mounted on that, and maybe, not maybe, let's toss it on the car. Woo, damn, that's a really close fit with the wastegate. Okay, I don't remember how I got the header on. I think the engine went in before the traction bar. We'll get it out. Oh, look. This is also a 1320 performance. All right, so got the traction bar reinstalled. I had to take it off to take the header off. That's over there, and now I'm anxious to see how this looks inside the engine bay. This is kind of heavy, so let me see. Crossing fingers, everything clears. Yes, it does. I am super stoked. Wow, that I mean, it's not a super tight fit, but dang, this thing sticks out like a mother. And another thing I just noticed, not noticed, but I just remember now that I did not paint the T-bracket. Completely forgot about this. And that does not fit. So right off the bat, it looks like I got plenty of room to run a 3-inch downpipe, real sharp 90 here. Not that much room down there, but that is definitely, I don't know, maybe 5 by 5 opening here. So I can probably put a downpipe right through and then go right under the oil pan. This, hopefully I got some space. Now traditionally for turbo EFs, if your charge pipes is not going around, you know, on each end here, I always cut off this section of the support, not the entire support, but at least just this section right here for like backdoor charge piping. And on that side, same thing, backdoor charge piping. So that's what we're gonna have to do when we get into the fabrication part of this build. But it looks like, let's see, if I move it about here and a finger gap back there for the coupler, I think we have enough room to somehow go around. Actually, you know what, shout out to Joaquim. He gave me this wastegate a little while ago because he wasn't sure if it was working or not. I mean, I don't know if it works either, but it looks like it works. This is a 44 tile. Oh, there's no spring in here. So I guess the tricky part with this, now that I'm looking at it, is the dump tube. So I'm not sure which way the dump tube is gonna go. Right here we have the traction bar in the way. Can't point it backwards to that hole because the charge pipe is going to be going that way. So with the gate in place, it looks like I have enough room to put a charge pipe through here to come out through this section here to go back door into the intercooler. So I'm not worried about the charge pipe. I'm just now trying to figure out the wastegate dump tube. But yeah, that's pretty much the new manifold and turbo for the giveaway CRX, guys. Big shout out to Jeff at 1320 Performance. eBay Turbo GTX 3582R, same one run on all the setups that run this on the channel. And I'm pumped. I am so ready to get this thing going and make further progress with this car. So we're not messing with any of the turbo stuff today in this video, but I just noticed that you know, part of the T bracket, I never painted the bumpers. So I was debating on using this bumper. This is the original bumper to this car, and the grill's already cut out. You know, kind of how it was back in the days. Everybody was putting chicken mesh inside the grills, and the thing is, this car was hit a little bit on the passenger side, which explains why this car got repainted. The bumper is pretty scuffed up in this corner right here on the driver's side. Right here, it's missing little. This was literally Bondo that broke off when I removed the bumper for the first time, and it's literally, it's got a hole here. Bumpers are super hard to find right now, 88, 89 style, and if they are available, they are expensive. People are asking like $150 for a bumper out here, and I'm not trying to spend $150 for a bumper, knowing that I could fix this one. And it's pretty straight. I mean, it was straight when it was on the car, and the only thing is it's just missing bolts. Like there's no bolt right here, and obviously the front lip is just kind of dangling off because the bolts aren't there. But we have a different lip for this bumper, so I'm not worried about that. So guys, I was telling y'all in a different video that my nephew was doing some wood projects and stuff, and we actually finished the other ones at Axe, right? Go get it real quick. I'm gonna show it to them. So we finished this Axe I don't know, a week or two ago, or maybe 2 weeks plus ago, but he's starting on another project, and this is like a hammer. I guess you can call this a hammer. One end is going to be what is it, 6 sides, so it's a hex on one side, and then it's going to be a spike, a spear, or not spear, a spike on one end. Obviously I'm going to show you guys this one is all said and done too, but the other one that we made is, what's this right here, this animal?
A goat.
This is a goat, and the goat horns is pretty much the axe part of it, so it's all nice and sharpened. I mean, it's not too sharp, it's just something to prop up inside his room. But yeah, we made this. I mean, all these little pieces you see right here are carved literally separately, and then they were glued in. These two faces were cut and hand carved symmetrically, so once it goes on the stick, it's gonna, you know, a face right there, right? You can see the face. Yeah, so this is one of his axes. It's not done. He's still gonna do like what do you call that, the grip on here, and then he's starting on this project. So this is the Bauer bandsaw that I made into a vertical table for him to cut literally the pieces that are hard to cut by hand, because, you know, we don't have all the right tools, but we have tools to get the job done, like this. And when he's not using this, I'm using it for, you know, fabricating for car stuff. And yeah, so right now he's cutting all the edges out of the hex part that is going to be the like the ham portion of this project he's doing. So yeah, he's doing this in the background with me helping him. I'm literally just working on my bumper right here, and I just stripped the rear bumper of its bumper support, all of the lights, harness, and the bracketries and stuff that were oversprayed. I'm definitely going to be painting all of that, or not painting it, but stripping it all back to the metal and, you know, black it out like how it was in factory. And this bumper was painted completely white, although it was supposed to be. Anyways, before my battery died, yeah, the bottom half of this bumper is supposed to be black, but they painted it. I mean, this whole entire car is painted single stage white when I got it. So all this right here is flaking off. You can see it's already flaking off. The bumper molding was all painted too. And this bumper seems to have been, like, I don't know, smacked in the back, because you can see the spider webs here. So we're going to be sanding all that off, and you know, just try and get this bumper to be usable. I didn't notice that there's a hole right here, so I'm gonna have to like plastic weld, or I don't know, fiberglass the backside and use some flexible filler for the front and just sand it nice and flat before we get it into primer. I think what I'm gonna do with the bumper front and back, I am gonna be looking for another bumper. I just posted up a post looking for a bumper, and eventually I'll get the bumper all, you know, trimmed up and then painted as well. But hopefully at the end of this video we get at least the rear bumper painted frost white. I don't want to use a low grit on plastic because it can leave gouges, But for the paint on paint on paint on paint, the 100 seems to be working a lot faster. All right guys, so next day here. Got back from the paint shop and the store a little while ago. Went to go get some Sem product trim black for the lower section and the molding. Got some high-tech high build primer sealer in gray. I've used this right here on the entire car of this before I painted it, and I got some sandpaper for the DA. So I'm using a 150, and I was able to sand off the entire white single stage paint that was covering the black portion of the bumper. So if you look, all the white is gone, so that's awesome. I'm still debating if I want to just prime the entire bumper, paint the entire bumper, scuff the white, and then paint the black, or should I just, I don't know, should I just prime it, paint the top white and then the bottom and the molding black, or not prime the bottom and the molding and prime just the area that's going to be white? I don't know, we'll figure it out in just a minute. But we got the entire bumper sanded out, and a lot of the web cracks right here is sanded off as well too. I mean, there's still a little like minor, like this one right here goes all the way across a little bit, but I'm not worried about it. And what I'm trying to figure out right now is there's a bulge right here from whatever hit this car from the back. So there's a little bulge right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a brick somewhere and heat up this right here, use the brick to press it flat so we can get this hump to go down, and then we'll lay some filler there, plastic weld that, and maybe do some spot putties on like the small little pinholes. So if you guys look, there's that hump right there in the middle. You can see it's seesawing on it. And got my heat gun, warm it up little by little, not too much because you don't want to mess it up, and we're gonna press it down. So I'm gonna heat up this entire area. I guess I'm just gonna hold it here until it cools off, because it is pretty hot. Probably one more time. It is definitely lower for sure. Not too noticeable anymore. Can't really feel it. If you look, just a little bit. It's just a little bit high, but definitely better than before. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and just sand all these marks and take off the rest of this paint and get into that filler work. Okay guys, so pretty simple here. We got a pretty nice hole. Not sure where it came from or why it's there. Seems like somebody tried to repair before. I just punched out the old plastic that was like not really doing anything in the hole, so it's a pretty good like quarter of an inch of a hole. So I don't have the plastic kit. I am using my soldering iron, and I'm pretty much just gonna rob this piece of plastic right here. The bumper support goes into it. Obviously we don't need the whole entire thing, so I'm just gonna cut a little section of it. Well, not really you know, cut, but I'm just gonna melt a section of this, right? The plastic welding kit is practically a soldering iron with plastic strips that you can use, so you don't have to rob pieces like this. So I'm just gonna take this, get it up, oh, where'd it go? Get it all melted nice and hot and, you know, liquidy-ish, and then we're just gonna stick it in the hole, and then melt it into the hole. Not the hole itself, but the sides of the hole, so that way we have, you know, a backing plate too for when we fill the front end with filler. Now that hole's gone, so now I'm just going to clean the front side of it. It's not much, just gotta melt it nice and flat, and then we can fill the rest in with filler. Honestly, I can just fill this whole thing with plastic and then sand it flat, and then use spot putty and fill in the rest of the little pinholes. Wow, that hole is almost entirely gone, and it's flat. This right here I used on my cousin's bumper a long time ago, Polyflex flexible polyester glazing putty. So this is for like body panels that flex, especially bumpers. So I'm just going to use that. I've used it before, I never had any issues with it. I'm a hardener, got my spatula and my spreader. All right, so this seems like it is nice and smooth now. Seems this right here turned out freaking awesome too. Nice and smooth. This one nice and smooth. I'm pretty much going to clean up everything right now, double check, because white is kind of hard to see. It hides a lot of things. So I'm gonna double check to make sure there's not like some crazy edges that's gonna be popped up through the primer. Super thick 2K primer. This is 4-part primer to 1-part activator, which I have right here. And after mixing it, you get 2 hours in the cup to use that primer that you already mixed. And we're gonna be doing, I'm probably gonna mix enough to do 2 coats. I'm not going crazy with the bumper here, but 2 coats. And I think it's like 10-15 minutes in between coats. And we're going to be shooting at, I mean, Google says 2025. This one right here says 8 to 10 psi at the cap. I don't know how you're supposed to measure at the cap, but yeah, anyways, so this takes about 1 to 2 hours to cure, but we don't have a lot of heat out today, so I'm just gonna let it sit in the sun. This is the reason why people confuse the paint job on a wagon being primer with clear coat, but it's not. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, when I'm doing stuff by myself, nobody's watching, I be procrastinating all day. But this video, each day that we're making progress on the bumper, we're on day 3 or something right now, it's because I get out into the garage about 4 o'clock p.m. And you know, obviously from 4 o'clock to nightfall, there's not that many hours in between, so I push it off to the next day and the next day, and now we're on day 3. We're about to get ready to paint the bumper. So what I just did was I trimmed black the bottom and the molding 4 coats, and it is looking really uniform. Now what I'm about to do before I paint is I am going to be sanding all the black back off. Yeah, it's a little extra more work, but you know, I felt like this was the right procedure for me to do this and get the black done and out of the way first, because it dries faster, so that way I can show you guys like an after the bumper is painted with the trims, instead of showing you guys a completely white bumper. But I'm going to sand all the black off right now. I'm not going to get it all the way to the edge, but I just want to make sure that I get close to the edge, get it all sanded off. The overspray right here as well too, that shouldn't take long at all. And then we'll mask it up and we'll mix the white base coat, clear coat, and get that thing painted. All right guys, so while the paint was drying, I was kind of tweaking the front bumper. Big shout out to Tony. This was the reason why I didn't finish recording yesterday, because Tony came by to drop off the new front bumper. This is a fresh 88 black bumper. It's gonna hurt me to cut it because of the intercooler, but big shout out to Tony. He came through yesterday and we pretty much hung out the rest of the night. And I was tweaking the bumper on that end right there to see how far off was it, because I mentioned before that this was kind of hit a little bit, so the frame is not as straight, but it's straight enough that everything bolts up accordingly. But I'm looking at it here, and that's a gang of Bondo, and if you look, it's kind of far off. So I'm probably gonna look for another fender and then paint match it. I do have enough paint for the bumper and a little bit for if I paint a fender, but I'm probably gonna look for a new fender. But old bumper, I'm not gonna worry about trying to save it, but I am gonna keep it just in case But we just unmasked the rear bumper, guys, and it looks freaking amazing. Oh my god, for some reason this frost white looks like championship white, and I'm loving it. I am going to wrap up the video right here. It's about 10:30 right now. The last few clips was just, you know, going straight to work. There's a lot of construction going on next door, and I didn't want to try to talk over it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video a little bit, and if you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for the fabrication part of this H2B H23 all-wheel drive giveaway CRX, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.